Everyone has nostalgia for a certain operating system, whether that's Windows 95, Windows XP, Mac OS 8, the Nintendo DS. As for me, my home computer as a kid had Windows 7, released on July 22nd, 2009, which seems a lot more recent than it should. Anyone else get that feeling? Anyway, Windows 7 was released in 2009 to universal critical acclaim, with customers noting the many improvements to startup times, usability, and functionality, and was generally considered to be a huge step up from its predecessor, Windows Vista, which everyone hated for some reason that I don't know. Like, I'm not very educated on what Vista was, or why everyone hated it, or what Windows 7 did that was so much better, but it's what I had growing up. And I had my desktop all decked out, right? I got my Mario Galaxy 2 wallpaper, which was my favorite game at the time. I had all those cool widgets on the side that you could have. I had the clock, the weather, the calendar, a little slide puzzle that you could customize with your own picture. That was dope. And of course, I can't talk about Windows 7 without talking about the games it came packaged with. Microsoft has packaged games with its operating system since the very first version of Windows, and Solitaire has actually come with every OS since Windows 3. Well, except for Windows 8, but I like to pretend that Windows 8 never happened, so let's all just move on. The games I'll be talking about today originated with Windows Vista, but every game that was on Vista was also ported to Windows 7, and so they're also the ones that I grew up with. Minesweeper, Hearts, Solitaire, Mahjong, and my favorite as a kid, Purble Place. Chess Titans, Mahjong Titans, and Purble Place were all developed by Oberon Media, of which there is a certified drought of information. Apparently, they were a casual games company founded in 2003 and based in New York City, though they also had offices in Europe, Asia, and other parts of North America. The company lasted for a while, developing games and acquiring a few other companies, until it was finally acquired itself by iWin in 2013. The co-founder of Oberon, Jane Jensen, also designed a series of point-and-click adventure games called Gabriel Knight, which was a pretty successful and acclaimed series featuring an impressive voice cast including Tim Curry and Mark Hamill.
Gabriel knows the salt is important, but it doesn't seem right to put it on the altar in the shaker.
She also apparently writes gay romance fiction, but that's neither here nor there. Back to Purble Place. So Purble Place was introduced with Windows Vista and continued on to Windows 7, but was discontinued starting with Windows 8, which again doesn't exist. Let's all move on. Okay, so here we are in the main menu, and I'm a little disappointed. First of all, let's deal with this. Okay, so they decided to spring for a really nice looking main menu, right? With hand-drawn and cartoonish looking buildings. But they couldn't get a better font than Calibri. This main menu is also uncomfortably static. No motion, no music of any kind. It's kinda creepy if I'm being honest. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit unfair. After all, this is just the main menu, so let's reserve judgment until we've actually played some of the games. Speaking of said games, there's 3 here for us to choose from. Let's just start from the leftmost one and move on from there. One thing I should mention is that when you click on one of these games, you are presented with 3 difficulty options: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. This first game is called Purble Pairs, and it's essentially just a memory matching game. You turn over tiles, see what picture they have on them, try to remember them, and then match them. Once you match 2 tiles, they turn into 4-leaf clovers and fly into this jar over here. Once you match all the tiles, the clovers all fly out and fill the screen to congratulate you. It's completely superfluous, but it does do a lot to add to the charm of this game. Speaking of adding charm, I feel like I should mention the sound effects. Maybe it's just the nostalgia talking, but the sound effects they chose for this game are so iconic and really fit the atmosphere of this game. One of the elements that differentiates this game from your standard memory game are these eye icons on some of the tiles. Every time you match a pair with this eye on it, you gain an eye token. You can gain up to 3 of these tokens, and they can be used to see the whole board for a few seconds. There's also this Joker tile here, which acts as a wild card. Match this tile with any other tile, and it will reveal the actual match, and send all 3 of the tiles into the jar. After you complete a game, this creepy dude over here will congratulate you, before a window pops up telling you your stats for the game. You're given a rating out of 5, and then a breakdown of how you got that score. It'll also tell you the total amount of games you've played, and the total amount of games that you've won. Mine is currently 100%, so I'm pretty much a gaming master. I mean, I'm not sure how you lose a game of memory, but still. Moving on from that game, the next game is called Comfy Cakes, and it's probably the most memorable game in the collection. I'm going to take a guess and say that if you remember Purble Place at all, it's probably this game. It's definitely the most unique game out of the 3. The premise is pretty simple. You assume the role of a cake shop employee, and your job is to make 5 cakes using the recipe here on the left. There are different shapes of cake pans, different flavors of batter and icing, and different toppings at the end. You just have to use these tools to create the same cake that you see on the TV screen. I have to say that it is kind of weird how these cakes never need to be baked. You just pour the batter into the pan and then just go straight to icing them. Maybe the reason this game didn't make it past Windows 7 is that the shop got shut down by the health department. One thing that I just love about this game is the aesthetics. It does a great job setting the atmosphere of a whimsical, comfy cake shop. I love these machines up here that generate the ingredients. You can see the decorations through the glass. It shows the batter being mixed. Although I do wish there was actual animation on the mixers here. Just like the main menu, everything is uncomfortably static. But aside from that, this is just a fun, relaxing, easygoing game. Unless you turn the difficulty to advanced, and then it becomes harder than frickin' Mario 2. In advanced mode, the cakes are now stacked 3 tiers high, meaning that once you get your icing down, you have to go back and add another cake pan on top. This wouldn't be a problem, except for the fact that new wax paper for more cakes keeps coming down, and if those build up too much, you lose your ability to go back. This difficulty level also includes a timer, which will automatically move your cake forward if you take too long. I don't know if it's my inability to multitask or what, but I can't win this game on advanced, and I don't know how anyone does. Kudos to YouTuber Meme Runner, who actually uploaded a speedrun of this game on advanced. But anyway, let's move on from that hell and play the last game here, Purble Shop. This game is essentially a version of Mastermind if you've ever played that. Although if you own a Nintendo Switch and a copy of Clubhouse Games, you probably know it as Hit and Blow. Basically, you pick a pair of eyes, a nose, and a mouth for this guy over here, and then hit this check mark. And the game will tell you which of the features you got right and wrong. The easy difficulty is, well, really easy, because the game will tell you exactly which feature you got right or wrong. It's in the more advanced difficulties where the game becomes more challenging and more fun. Unlike the Cake game's advanced difficulty, these don't make me want to pull my hair out because there's no time limit. It's just a game of logic. Unlike the easy difficulty, this one won't tell you exactly what you got wrong, it will just tell you that you have X amount of right colors / features, and you have to guess which ones they are. I don't know if that made any sense, but trust me, it's pretty fun. I recommend it. And that's about all I have to say about Purble Place. Before I go, though, I wanted to talk about some interesting information about behind the scenes for this game. The Cutting Room Floor, if you aren't aware, is a website cataloging unused content and other interesting facts about different media. Luckily for us, it has a page on Purble Place. Apparently, the early version of Purble Pairs and Purble Shop were called Concentration and Build-A-Purble, respectively. I'm glad they went with the current versions. They fit much better and are a lot less generic. Oh yeah, and remember when I was complaining about the title being in a really boring font? Well, that's only true for the Windows 7 version, where the title is in Sego UI. In the Windows Vista version, the title was in Comic Sans. Why on earth did they change this? It makes no sense to me. Also, in the beta version of the main menu, the red X was originally a yellow arrow, and the cake shop originally had smoke coming from its chimneys. I'm not sure why that one was removed. Here's an early version of the filling machine. It doesn't look too different from the final version. The final version is just shaded better and looks a bit nicer overall. Originally, the Comfy Cakes minigame had a feature where you had to rotate the cake in order to get the decorations in the right spot. This was removed in late development, and so these error messages were also removed. Personally, I'm glad they removed this feature, as it would have made the cake game even more of a nightmare. The conveyor belt sound was also different in the previous version of the game. But yeah, that's everything I had to say about Purble Place. I'll see you guys in the next video. I wasn't doing it.